Oh man, I hate Mondays.
Nah, man, it's Tuesday.
Wait. What day is it?
You know what day it is? Tuesday. Brewsday Tuesday.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's time for Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar and Six Pack Store. Here's DreZ and Big Nate.
Man, that does sound just
My
just
favorite sound in the world, next
just
to my
right for a
voice.
Tuesday. No doubt about it. It is Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store in downtown Blacksburg. More often than not, that's where the beer comes from. I don't know if that's the case because this beer came from my buddy Josh's beer fridge. Josh, you're on the show. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for bringing in the brewskis, man.
Thanks for having me.
I don't know if your mic got cut off or something. You sounded a little low. If you want to bring the mic a little closer, that might help. But yeah. So, Josh, I've known you for a long, long time. I think we go back to like the Attitudes Comedy Club days. Is I think where we first met.
Literally where we first met was Attitudes back in the day.
Yeah. So we've known each other for years, and more recently, I mean, we've hung out. We go to concerts and whatnot. But I always would see you at the beer festivals and stuff. So we have that love and we share the passion for craft beer. And you always brag about how I buy all this awesome craft beer and I have so much that I just keep putting it in a closet. And then once my beer fridge is empty, then I just go and see what's in the closet. So I was like, well, if you got all this beer, you shouldn't sit on it too
What a
long.
beer closet.
Obviously. So
I mean, that's
That would
literally-
never fly.
Literally what I'm doing now is most of this was already in the fridge and I'm clearing out some space.
yeah, well, and I appreciate and I'm happy to help you clear out space anytime you want to come and share
I've got
because
you.
from what I'm looking at, man, I think that you knew almost exactly what I'm into. So you handed me the Fog Nog, which is a double dry hopped double IPA with lactose and spices. That's the only question mark there is the lactose. Sometimes it's a hit. More often than not, it's a miss with me, but I'm always down to try a good thing. And is this
That one
for
is
brewed?
Abomination, right?
Abomination. Yes, Abomination. Hence the eerie can there. I mean, that looks like straight like a horror movie-esque.
They had a whole set of those around the holidays. I don't know if they've had them before this year. This was the first year that I've ever had it, but they also have a gingerbread one and they have another one. I can't remember the third one, but they had 3 different kinds.
Look
this
at
year.
that color.
Yeah, it's
almost green.
Yeah.
it does look right. And it almost looks like, I mean, I guess with the lactose, the spices, there are some like kind of Christmas lights on it. So I guess this is maybe like kind of a Christmas
Yeah.
not themed, but just sort of it might have that kind of notes to it, I would imagine.
For me, that one I've had, and that one was a little bit less on, things like nutmeg, cinnamon, but it was a little bit more. Almost tasted like they have eggnog in there.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Fog nog,
Sure.
you assume an eggnog kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it. Nate, I think that yours is more your style,
Right
right?
up my eye.
It does
my
look like it.
alley. It's the Wild Wild Barrel Vice. Sorry, I have berries on the brain. It's a passion cactus dragon fruit sour. It's in the Berliner Weiss style with passion, cactus, and dragon fruit. Now, let me be honest with you. I'm not really sure I know what a cactus tastes like. I can envision it, but like it feels like the forbidden fruit. You probably shouldn't just throw a cactus in your mouth.
Well, I know that I remember when me and BB were on the trip and we went down to Texas, the prickly pear was very popular down there. And I mean, I guess that's cactus, but a prickly pear margarita, that was to die for. And I think we might have came across some prickly pear beers as well. Other than that, I don't really know what other cacti.
Is agave a cactus?
I don't think so.
For me, I've had
Where's
cactus
Tequila
once.
Steve?
They used to have it as a side at Cabo in Blacksburg. I don't know if they still do. For me, it was almost like watermelon.
Okay.
Okay.
Which I'm not a fan of watermelon, like, just as a fruit, but flavoring, I tend to be okay with it.
I guess that makes sense because they say cactus like they hold the water and all
Right.
that. So I can see how that's probably an interesting simulation. What do you got there in front of you?
So I have Dancing or Gathering Clowns. It is a double dry hopped double IPA. out of Twin Elephant Brewing Company.
Do we have any insane clown posse in the library?
I guess we could maybe try and look for some. That would be appropriate. So both of ours were double dry hop, double IPAs.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I brought anything outside the sour that was less than 8%.
Yeah, and I just realized I forgot to mention
Oh.
this is 9.1. I'm sorry, I'm sitting on over here. The fog nog.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to find a good sour that's, high ABV.
Yeah,
That's true.
because of the nature of the style. This is a
Right.
5.2.
Yeah.
Yeah, which for a sour, I thought that was actually pretty decent. I mean, a lot of the ones I have are like high 3s, low 4s.
I had I can't remember what it was. I had a sour that was 8% once, and it was solid, but it wasn't.
Well, the sour monkey must be up there.
Oh yeah, Victories. That
That's-
one is they've got
it's-
the berry monkey too. That I think is like either.
I
a
think they're
9 or
all.
11.
I think they're all up there because that's just that series. And all the monkeys are pretty high ABV. But you're right. Most sours aren't up there. Or most of them, I would almost say, are probably even under 5.
Because
Yeah.
they rely so much on like the wild yeast, and the high ABV would kill it.
Yeah. So what got you so much into craft beer? Like when did you get bit by the bug, Josh?
Obviously not in college.
Yeah.
College is all just cheap in quantity. Sometime after I got out, I think it was probably just the simple nature of going to different places and not knowing what certain beers taste like, because college is mostly pale ales and lagers, and I knew what those tasted like, and then maybe like a red ale here or there, but I never used to like Guinness outside of like an Irish car bomb. Never really cared for IPAs. But then you have one that you like, and you're like, okay, well, that's not too bad.
It
And then
opens the door.
It does. So gradually over the years, different ones have kind of opened my palate to wanting to try different things, and then from there it was like, hey, beer festival, that's a great way to try a lot of beers in one place for decent price. And from there, it's just now I just buy craft beer all the time.
So do you remember what your first craft beer when you were like, oh, maybe I
You
should
took my
drink
question. The
maybe I
gateway
should-
beer.
maybe I should drink this instead of this is definitely better than a typical
Yeah.
Pilsner or whatever that's just
So,
domestic,
I can
perhaps.
definitely remember the first stout that I had that made me think, hey, this actually isn't as bad as I've always thought it was. It was an Oak Dominion stout. Nothing crazy, but I think it's flavored with like vanilla and chocolate. And that one for me was the first stout I'd ever had that didn't taste like coffee, because I'm not a big coffee drinker,
Mhm.
but I'll drink the crap out of some stouts.
Yeah, I think
But-
you and I see eye to eye on that. Like, I'm not a coffee drinker, and so I've always said until recently, I admitted I was like, I always say I don't really like stouts or porters, but now it's got to the point where as long as it has that kind of sweet note to it,
Right.
or a high ABV, a barrel aged or something, I'm all about it.
Yeah, even now, I mean, if something drinks like a cold brew, I'll drink one, but I'll drink it really just to check it in. Like it's not my wheelhouse. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, and when you say check it in, you're talking Untapped. You're big
Oh,
on
absolutely,
Untapped, as
yeah.
I am.
I am indeed.
In fact, you might even be more active. Well, I guess you obviously you have a whole lot of you have your beer fridge of all these beers you need to
I
try.
do.
And I mean, I know it's not a sponsor or anything, but are you still part of you? There was some type of a beer club membership thing that you're
Oh,
signed up for.
So
Do you
that's
still
actually
do
where
that?
the Wild Barrel one came from. I do that sporadically because that's a good way to empty your bank account.
I bet I can imagine.
But not the
Well,
beer
and of
closet.
course, yeah,
Yeah,
if your beer
well-
closet's already full, you probably don't need to continue that.
Yeah. So the danger with that,
And for everybody listen, what is it again? Remind everybody,
Right.
it's like
so yeah, I'm
beer
not getting
like-
paid to drop it, but I'll still say it. There's a couple different ones, but the one that I used was called Tavour. It's Tavour. It's a beer app. The great thing about that one is they usually post 2 beers a day. You don't
So you
have
get 2 beers in the mail every day?
no. So the way it works is it's a monthly.
I was gonna say
Yeah, I
that's,
know.
that's pretty good.
It's a monthly per diem box subscription. So basically they post 2 different ones every day. You can add them to your crate. You can not add them to your crate, but everything at the end of the month all ships for a flat rate of like $14. Now you have to also pay like the per diem for each beer that you buy, but they all flat ship for that flat rate. Problem is that,
If it's a flat rate, you want to have
Right.
more than less.
and I see that most of the stuff that they always carry is stuff
It's
I've
gonna be
never
good.
had.
Yeah, it's
So
gonna be stuff you want.
I'm like, well, I don't really need that, but I want that.
And guessing, just judging by the normal is it normal kind of beer prices? Like would something like this
Yeah,
be like
yeah,
$6 or something?
Yeah, it's definitely comparable to places like the Cellar and Vintage Cellar, places like that.
Mhm.
You're paying, some of the steeper stuff, which I almost brought one of those, but I might save that for some other time.
All right.
Because that one on a secondary market goes for a little bit of an insanely high prices.
What are we talking?
Like over $100.
Well, what beer are we talking?
One of
He's saving it for a later time.
Well, then he's gonna have to bring it in.
well,
he doesn't want people coming to his beer closet.
stay away from.
Are
the
you
closet.
talking about like
So
an aged, like is it an old,
Oh, yeah,
an older
absolutely.
year?
Well, no, not really. The one that I've got, the one that I can think of is actually called A Deal with the Devil. Coincidentally, it's from Anchorage Brewing.
Okay.
I think the one I have is a double oaked, but it also
Oh.
might be a triple oaked.
So we're talking like 19% or something crazy.
We're talking like 4.8 average rating on Untapped.
I don't know if I've ever had a beer that high.
The triple oaked is a
No.
barley wine that's an
Yeah, I was saying.
17%.
It's barley wine
17. All
territory.
right. So yeah. all
And
right.
I mean, they go the whole nine with it too. I mean, it's wax sealed.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Of course.
The artwork on the bottle is done by some, relatively known artist. The whole line that they have is. I've got two.
I don't know,
different
I'm really looking
ones.
forward to trying that one, Josh. If you want to bring that.
Well,
in.
I had to come in once and set it up.
That's
I've got
fair,
to
that's
build that
fair.
It's
anticipation.
a tease.
So, and did that one come through this service, or was
Yes.
it okay?
Yeah. Usually I forget how irresponsible I can be on that app until tax
Especially-
time.
Especially after you've had a couple, I can only imagine, man.
Yeah.
That's a slippery slope.
Well, and especially with some of the stuff, because I mean, I've gotten so much crazy stuff through there. I had one that was like a plum. I swear, I think it was a plum porter, but it was double aged and it was like an 18%. But they sent it in this tiny can that was
Oh,
like you and
yeah.
another guy and I were talking the other night. I think it was literally like an 8-ounce can, but they only did it in those size cans because the ABV was so high.
Yeah. I think that was the size of the can that I got from the answer. That bourbon, whatever that was.
It was an
A
espresso.
coconut something.
Yeah, and it was
It was like this little baby can, but
delicious.
a lot of flavor in that
Yeah.
little can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, usually about once a year or so, I forget that, I shouldn't get on there. And then I re-download the app. And then, 2 weeks later, I'm already in. And then 2 months later, I'm like, I got to
Get back
this
off.
back
Got to
off
get
of
off
here.
this. Yeah.
It's going to cost me a couple paychecks.
That is one thing, man. I mean, craft beer is a fun, awesome culture and hobby, but it can get a little pricey.
Absolutely.
If you really want to get the good stuff, I mean, you get what you pay for. It's your passion. It's your craft. If you
Well,
will.
and on top of
Yeah.
that, the whole just my issue with just wanting to try everything. If I haven't had it, I'm prone to wanting to get it, and that's a dangerous.
I'm real
mindset
bad
to
about
have.
that. And you know whose fault that is? Untapped.
Yes, it is.
It's definitely Untapped's fault.
Merit badges for drinking.
Which, by the way, DreZ Drinks is my handle. Big Nate Danger across from me. Do you know? I know a lot of people are on Untapped, and you're very, very active on it. But a lot of people also don't remember their actual handles.
I'm
Do you-
definitely one of those that doesn't remember it off the top of my head. I should because it's
Well,
something I use.
If you
but-
want to look it up, we'll go ahead and we'll untap these while we're waiting for you to give a little plug in case somebody wants to friend you on there. I know again
Yeah.
that you're pretty active on it.
I am indeed. I've actually been on there since 2013.
You got me beat. You were a year ahead of me. I got on 2014.
Well, you got me in volume. I've got you in duration.
And that won't be long because with you signing up on this, getting all this stuff.
I'm trying to chase you down.
Where are you at?
I am currently at 3,000.
Oh, okay. I got a little bit on you. That's
Yeah,
gonna take
just
some
a
time.
little. Well, and I think I sent you that snapshot. My 3,000 check-in came when I was in the bathtub.
Yeah. In fact, that's almost a spoiler. I was gonna bring that up. I was like,
No,
so what's up with
I hope
you?
that you do.
You'd like to post photos of you in the bathtub with beer and food,
I
just
was
being like, this is my day. This is why you can't give me things.
well. Now I know that
That's
Nate-
decadent.
this is definitely the reason that Nate's going to befriend me on Facebook now, just for that exact reason. But no, like I don't know. I mean, I work in mental health, and self-care is important. And I don't know, for some reason,
Is that your safe space?
it is.
That's where you're happy.
I just had a day where I was like, you know what? I'm an adult. I can do whatever I want to. And what I want to do is eat breakfast food and drink beer in the bathtub on a Friday. So I did. And I've been toying around with the idea of like doing some kind of like a weekly YouTube or something of like just call it like Pops and Hops or something, you know, of me just pairing breakfast food and alcohol in the bathtub.
All right.
Do
I'm going to spiel. There's got to be something clever of a name to incorporate the bathtub in there. So we'll think on that.
Yeah.
And we'll have something for you by the end of the show.
Oh, absolutely.
That's going to be our mission. Think about a good clever name for that.
I like it.
Nate, how are you feeling about your beer over there?
I'm gonna be entirely honest with you. I'm still not 100% certain I know what a cactus tastes like, but I do know this beyond a shadow of a doubt is the best sour I've ever had.
Really?
It's
Wow.
a 5. It's not like drinking beer though.
Best sour
will
you've
go ahead.
ever had?
Yeah, it truly is, and
Wow.
I think you're not gonna like it,
Yeah.
but
It's the best I've ever had. You'll hate it.
I love it. It's a 5.
Wow. Okay. That's something, man. How's your double dry hopped the clowns over there?
Well, I mean, I look forward to that sour now. Oh man, this is good. It doesn't even drink like a double dry hopped. I mean, it's super smooth. It's light. It at least tastes light. Nice haze. Not overly hoppy, but you get it on the back end. I mean, this is really good. Probably 4.5, 4.75, maybe.
Was that Clown Shoes? I'm sorry, I don't remember the brewery.
It's Gathering Clowns.
Gathering Clowns is the brewery. Okay.
No, Gathering Clowns is the beer. The brewery is Twin Elephant out of Seaside Heights, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. Jersey beer, Jersey brewed.
Yeah.
And speaking of course, Connecticut. That makes sense. Abomination Brewing. I've had a few beers from them. They're always spectacular, and this one, like you mentioned, I'm sure probably a great rating on Untapped. It does have. It's exactly as advertised, man. Double dry hopped. You got a double IPA. So you got the IPA, or excuse me, the ABV that you're looking for at 9.1. You definitely get the spices, and unfortunately, you definitely get the lactose in there as well. I love it until I'm completely finished sipping it, and then a half a second later, I get that little bite in the back of my throat that lactose does to me. And so for that, I am not a huge fan of this, and I'm glad I did the little baby pour as we're supposed to. Still a great beer. It is as advertised. I bet it's fantastic. I'm still going to give it a 4.25, but I'm going to make a note that the lactose is very prominent and it's there. So if it's not your thing, it might be one to avoid.
Fair.
Thanks anyways, Josh.
Well, hey,
It's still a good beer. You're going to love it.
I'm confident that you'll love this one though.
Okay. Well then good. I'll do a nice pour of that. We'll take a break. I know you were talking about ICP, but we usually let our guests choose the song. So I don't know. I mean, I know you're a rocker. You got an idea? You want to play a track?
I've been thinking about Danzig all day. So if we can play some Mother, that'd be great.
All right, dude. I'm definitely down for that, man. We'll throw some Danzig on, and then we'll be drinking some more beers with my buddy Josh. It's Brewsday Tuesday right here on 105.3 The Bear. Stick around.